Welcome back, crew, to Boats vs. Haulover, where man and machine take on Mother Nature, typically down at Haulover Inlet. But today's a special day. For those of you who've been following along, we've been going through the top moments of 2023, and today's no different. And for those of you who've watched the prior episodes, you may know we are up to number 10. And we're actually going to start right here with number 10, where this crew got their jet ski lodged in the rocks down at Haulover. Now, unfortunately, we didn't catch the actual incident occur, just the aftermath. After a few minutes and some good Samaritans coming off the beach helping these guys out, they wind up getting it back into the water. Probably would have been higher on the list if we would have got the whole thing. And that's going to move us over to number 9, which is going to keep us down at Haulover Inlet, and those tuner boys are back at it again. Now this one, I was torn on where to actually rank it. As we can tell, Cap's got this boat up in plane, giving her hell as he runs this pontoon through Haulover, but our kid in the front gets knocked off his chair, and it's just kind of a dangerous situation. One of the reasons it got ranked so high is when you look at the broader picture. Here you can see the door on the side of the pontoon's open. So our kid who gets knocked on the floor easily in the right sea conditions could have gotten pushed overboard and right off the side of the boat because he doesn't have the proper protection around him to make sure everything's okay. Fortunately, he winds up falling forward, but man, it could have gone wrong. And one of the other reasons it winds up hanging so high on the list, well, that's because it's not just a one-fer, it's a two-fer, as they had to come back in, and here they wind up giving her hell as they come back into the inlet also. Cap's trying to approach his way in, and all of a sudden winds up stuffing the bow on the way so hard it takes the engine right out of the water on the backside of the boat. And a ton of water right here, but even the kid, watch his face, winds up taking water up his nose, up his mouth. He spits it both out, blows it out. You'll see here in a moment his mist comes everywhere. Just a bad scene overall. But this crew does wind up making it back into the inlet. As we know, pontoons are unsinkable. At least that's what you guys keep telling me. But it seems like everybody who takes these pontoons through Haulover keeps trying to find out for sure if they are. And that's going to move us to number 8 on the list, and it's going to keep us down here at Haulover. And here we're going to have a vessel coming in, and we're actually going to have our first 2-vessel collision to make the list. And that's going to be when this boat right here and a jet ski wind up colliding at the mouth of Haulover Inlet. Now this one's definitely an interesting situation, and this was probably one of the most controversial situations down at Haulover this year. The comments went wild in this video. Even I tried chiming in, but I couldn't keep up with everybody who just kept trying to figure out who was actually at fault in this situation. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are, but the comments the last time were pretty interesting, and I hate to say this, it shows that a lot of people are out there that don't know the actual rules of the road on the water. I do actually hold a 100-ton U.S. Coast Guard Master Captain's license. One of the biggest parts of holding that license is knowing the rules on the road, and I can tell you right now, the responses that we got on who was actually at fault here, most of them were completely wrong in the responses that they gave. But I'll tell you what, light it up in the comments below, let me know what you think, why and who was at fault, and the first person I see who gives the right answer, I'll actually pin your comment. And that's going to go ahead and bring us to number 7 on our list, which is of course my biggest pet peeve at Haulover Inlet, and that is coming through the inlet with a kid in the bow of the boat with no life jacket on. Now just the kid in the bow of the boat typically, especially on a rough day, is bad enough for me, but when they're doing it with no life jacket, man, it always drives me insane. And especially in this situation. Right here, it doesn't look so bad. I mean, it looks like it's rough at Haulover, but the actual situation itself, you're like, oh, that's not so bad. Just a dad and his kid in the bow of the boat. But that changes quite significantly when we switch to the aerial camera and you see how hard our dad's having to hold on to this child in the bow of the boat to keep them on the seat. The lounger's not a safe spot, especially on a big boat like this, but you'll see right now things look fine, but the kid's flopping around, the dad's actually hanging on and has the arm just wrapped around the child trying to hold him there, because it's a lot rougher than it looks in this situation. Here we can see he's flopping around. I promise all he's thinking in his mind right now is, man, I wish we would have stayed in the back of the boat. Now, fortunately in this situation, everybody winds up okay, but can still be a very, very scary spot. And that's going to move us to number 6 on our list, which is going to keep us down here at Haulover Inlet as well. And feature a formula stepping in the ring to try and do battle with the inlet, and our crew's making their way in. They have a moderately heavy following sea. Cap's just trying to use the throttle, going to blast his way in, but his buddy in the bow, and they wind up taking a massive stuffing. But watch the guy who is standing next to the captain. 1 second he's there, the next second he's not. And that shows you just how close of a call this one was. Watch again, you're gonna see there, then gone. Fortunately, he gets caught at the back of the boat, but very easily could have gotten washed overboard, or even the guy in the bow could have easily gone overboard as well with the amount of water that got pushed into this boat. Fortunately, in this situation, they stuffed it hard and everybody's still there. But man, they are all soaked and probably all hugging and high-fiving after this that everybody's okay. Speaking of being okay, we're finally moving into the top 5, and we're going to do that in our next video. If you need anything to watch while you're waiting for that one to come out, go ahead and check our other channels out. We have our newest channel, the Drain Plug Mafia channel, which features all the craziness in boating. We've got boating news of the week, boneheaded boaters, Googans of the week, all on that channel. We also have Wavy Boats, who does a bunch of great things down at the inlets. We've also got the Miami Boat Ramps channel that focuses on all the hilarity that happens at the boat ramps in South Florida. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button here.